Wouldn't it have been enough to just support her from the beach?
The support team vanished in the waves.
Friendship hidden in the waves.
A forceful request.
Please, I'm begging you.
Ami clasped her hands, eyes sparkling, pleading with Karen and Yuri.
I finally got a date with him, and it's at the beach. The beach! I want this to be perfect. For that, I need a little backup.
Karen folded her arms, keeping a calm expression.
Ami, shouldn't you handle this yourself? It is your date after all.
But Ami ignored Karen's words and turned quickly to Yuri.
Hey, Yuri, as my best friend, you'll support me, right? Just a little bit of help will be enough.
Yuri sighed inwardly, knowing she couldn't refuse a friend's request, and eventually nodded.
Well, I guess as a best friend, I should support.
Great, it's settled. You two will support my date from underwater. Make sure he doesn't notice. It has to be subtle, but perfect.
Karen and Yuri exchanged glances and, reluctantly, decided to accept Ami's request. On the day of the date, they suited up in bubble helmet scuba gear, ready to provide underwater support.
Reluctant underwater support.
On the day of the date, the beach was perfect. Clear blue skies and gentle waves. Ami, just like she'd planned, was on the beach, eagerly awaiting her handsome date and practically bouncing with excitement. Meanwhile, behind her, Karen and Yuri were getting ready. The two secured their heads in the bubble helmets, fastening them to the base, then exchanged glances through the glass, signaling they were ready. Positioned in the water, they were now set to provide covert underwater backup for Ami's perfect date.
Wouldn't it have been enough to just support her from the beach?
Yuri muttered, disgruntled. Karen, swimming gracefully, smiled.
Isn't this fun for a change? Besides, enjoying the ocean like this isn't so bad.
Bubbles drifted up behind the helmets as their calm conversation continued through the radio. Resigned, Yuri accepted her duty to support Ami's date from underwater.
The dependable sister disappears into the sea.
Once they were underwater and positioned slightly offshore, keeping watch on Ami, Karen looked around the ocean and spoke up thoughtfully.
This is something Ami should try to manage on her own. I think I'll take the chance to enjoy the sea a bit.
With that, Karen swam away gracefully, like a fish, vanishing beyond the coral reef. Through her bubble helmet, Yuri's face showed a look of shock.
What, Karen, where are you going?
Anxious, Yuri quickly radioed Karen, but Karen responded calmly
Don't worry, I'll be back soon.
and continued to disappear beyond the reef.
Good grief. How am I supposed to handle this alone?
Yuri shrugged, resigning herself to shadow Ami's date as best she could from underwater.
Yuri's lone struggle.
On the beach, Ami was happily running along the sand with her handsome date. Seeing her, Yuri sighed, thinking,
She looks like she's having a great time. And here I am, stuck doing all this.
but suddenly a bold request from Ami came through her earpiece.
Hey, Yuri. I'm a little nervous right now. Could you swim near me and quietly say something nice just so he won't hear? I need a little confidence boost.
Whispering through the bubble helmet underwater wasn't easy, but with Amy's insistence, Yuri reluctantly swam closer and softly said,
Ami, you look beautiful.
Even though her voice was a bit muffled through the helmet, Ami responded with a satisfied smile.
More. Make it sound natural so he won't notice.
How am I supposed to make this sound natural with a bubble helmet?
But continued to follow Ami's series of requests as best she could.
An unexpected incident.
As the date reached its peak, Ami and her handsome companion began snorkeling in the shallows along the beach. Ami, confident in her impressive swimming skills, gracefully swam beside him. Her athletic abilities were outstanding, and as someone who often played in the sea, snorkeling in the shallows was an easy activity for her. However, eager to impress him, Ami boldly swam further out. Before she realized it, she had left the shallows and entered an area with a faster current. At first, she didn't notice and turned back to wave at him with a smile. But suddenly, she felt a strong pull from below as the current tugged at her, lifting her feet off the sandy bottom.
What's happening?
Ami was startled for a moment but tried to calm herself. Not wanting to show any weakness in front of her date, she forced a smile and struggled to stay afloat. However, the current was faster than she anticipated, and no matter how she tried to regain her footing, she found herself slowly drifting further away. Meanwhile, Yuri, who had been watching over them underwater, noticed something was wrong and quickly used her communicator to call Karen.
Karen, Ami, she's getting pulled out to sea.
But there was no response from Karen. She had gone further into a deeper coral area, and it seemed their communication was now cut off. Yuri looked around through her helmet, hoping to find someone else who could help, but there was no one nearby.
What am I going to do now?
For a moment, uncertainty crossed Yuri's mind, but she quickly resolved to support Ami herself. I have to do this, she told herself, taking a deep breath in her bubble helmet, then swam powerfully toward Ami. Swiftly moving through the water, Yuri finally reached Ami, who was still being carried by the current. Through the bubble helmet, she could see Ami's face, now slightly pale, her previous confidence replaced by a hint of anxiety.
Ami, you'll be okay. I'm here to hold you steady, so just start moving your feet.
Yuri spoke firmly through her helmet, reaching out gently to reassure Ami.
Yuri, sorry, I think I got a little carried away.
Ami looked a bit embarrassed, but held onto Yuri's hand tightly. Supporting Ami's body, Yuri gradually guided her to a calmer area of water. Her calm voice came through the helmet, soothing Ami's worries.
It's okay, let's go back slowly. No need to rush, just take it easy.
Encouraged by Yuri's words, Ami regained her composure and moved her feet as instructed. The two synchronized their breathing and, slowly but surely, made their way back to the shallows as the current eased. Catching her breath, Ami turned to Yuri and gave her a grateful smile.
Thank you, Yuri. You really saved me.
Yuri, looking a bit worn out, returned her smile.
Honestly, Karen just disappeared on us. Next time, we're definitely supporting you from the beach.
They laughed together, finally showing true relief in their expressions.
The sister returns.
Finally, Ami and her handsome date returned to the beach, finishing the date safely. Yuri, exhausted, was about to exit the water when, from beyond the coral reef, Karen leisurely swam back.
Good job, Yuri. There were some really beautiful fish out there. The ocean really is wonderful.
Karen removed her bubble helmet, gracefully smoothing her hair with a relaxed smile. Yuri, half amused, half exasperated, couldn't help but chuckle at Karen's carefree attitude.
Oh, Karen, I'm honestly at my limit.
Yuri, completely drained, plopped down on the sand. But seeing Karen's calm smile and Ami's satisfied expression gave her a small sense of relief.
Date report and bonds of friendship.
With the date safely over, Ami excitedly reported.
It was a huge success, all thanks to you two.
Hearing this, Yuri felt a bit of relief, though she silently wished.
I hope the support will be simpler next time.
Karen gently patted Yuri's shoulder, smiling as she reassured her.
I'll join in again anytime.
The three of them, laughing together, stood against the backdrop of the setting sun, already planning their next trip to the beach. This unforgettable summer memory, full of friendship and growth, had deepened their bond even further,